Alright, so today we're having a look at Troll 2. Now this is very well known amongst film fans as being a prime example of it's so bad it's good. I've got a lot to say with this one, so let's have a look. Troll 2 is a 1990 American comedy horror film directed by Claudio Fagrasso under the name Drake Floyd. It was originally going to be titled Goblins, but due to concerns for it being unsuccessful in the US, it was rebranded as a sequel to the popular 1986 film Troll. The film currently holds a 2.7 on IMDb and is frequently added to the worst films of all time lists. So the film begins with a creepy grandpa telling his grandson Joshua a bedtime story about a guy called Peter, yep, another Peter, who's been chased through the woods by goblins. Peter runs into a girl who entices him to eat some green stuff, which he does, and it turns him into vegetables, because the goblins are vegetarian and turn people into food to eat, you know, instead of just growing some vegetables. Anyway, Grandpa believes in goblins and warns Joshua of them, and then Josh's mother appears.
What are you doing still up, Josh?
And asks him what he's doing. So, Grandpa was just in his head, and we get a lot of clunky exposition from the mother.
Grandpa Seth has been gone for more than 6 months now. You were at the funeral, and I know it was very difficult for you. It was also very difficult for your father, and for Holly, and for me, his daughter. He was an amazing man. Grandpa Seth has remained in all our hearts, but you must banish him from your mind.
On a side note, not sure if you've noticed, but this film is about goblins. A film called Troll 2 is in fact about goblins. Fantastic. So Josh and his family are going on holiday to a town called...
Yeah, John, that's Nilbog, right. Spell it? Yeah. Nilbog.
We meet Josh's sister Holly, who's working out, and that night her boyfriend, Elliot, appears. Apparently he spends too much time with his friends and not enough time with her. Also, her dad doesn't like him.
If my father discovers you here, he'd cut off your little nuts and eat them.
Ooh. She invites him to go on holiday with them, if he doesn't bring his friends along. The next day, and Elliot didn't show, so the Waits family are off to Nilbog. Holly's upset, so the mother forces Josh to sing.
Stop it, please! Joshua, start singing. Come on, sing that song I like so much.
I don't feel like singing, Mom.
Just sing.
Row, row, row your boat gently down a stream.
Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Josh has a dream that he sweats green and his family are goblins. He wakes up and demands that they pull over as he thinks he's seen his grandpa, which he has. Grandpa warns him that they're in danger and then he turns into a hitchhiker. Elliot and his friends are on their way to Nilbog, and the Waits family pass them and Holly gives them the finger. So the Waits family arrive in Nilbog and they're doing a house swap with a family who act all shady, and the dad just keeps talking to him.
You'll enjoy our city. It has some smog, it's a little noisy, but our house has all the major conveniences. Yeah, it's got a microwave and video, all the other appliances.
Yeah!
A refrigerator, a bar.
They go inside and there's a feast laid out for them consisting mainly of green Play-Doh. They go to eat it, but Josh has twigged on. Grandpa appears at the window and freezes time. Right. And then he says that Josh has got to stop them eating. So Josh gets up on the table and pisses on the food. I mean, it works. Josh's dad isn't happy with this, and we get one of my favourite lines in the film.
And you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it!
What are you going to do to me, Daddy?
Tighten my belt by one loop so I don't feel hunger pains. And your sister and mother will have to do likewise. Okay, Joshua, you want to get rough with me? You want to show me that you don't like the choice of this house for our vacation by going on a hunger strike? Well, I'll accept the challenge. But just remember, when I was your age, I really did suffer from hunger. We'll see who gets through this. But just remember, I've got more practice than you.
We then jump over to Elliot and his friends who are... Wait a minute. What was that? What the fuck are they watching? Anyway, one of the guys called Arnold is fed up, so he goes outside to smoke. He sees a girl in trouble and he chases her and tackles her to the ground. The goblins were chasing her, so he acts like a dick and tries talking to them. this obviously doesn't work, and they throw a spear at him, which goes through his shoulder. They run and stumble upon a large house, and here we meet our main antagonist called Credence, and her acting is atrocious.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Credence Leonore Gielgud.
She's just stupid. But anyway, she gives them a drink, and the girl runs off upstairs.
Oh my god, what's happening to her?
And turns into vegetables. I mean, I guess it's vegetables. Looks more like green mush to me. Arnold is frozen in place, and we get possibly the most famous line from the whole film.
They're eating her! And then they're going to eat me! Oh my god!
Fantastic. Back at the caravan, and we get another classic line.
Damn, there's no milk.
So Drew decides to run into town to get some food. Jump over to the Waits' house, and they're running into the same problem, so Josh and his dad go into town. Drew gets picked up by a sheriff who gives him a Play-Doh sandwich and drops him off at the shops. The townsfolk act weird, and he gets free milk from a creepy shopkeeper and is told that Arnold is waiting for him in a big house. Over at the house, and Arnold has been turned into a tree person, and Credence has made a cake. In town, the shop is closed for a service, and Josh finally figures out the secret of Nilbog.
Nilbog! It's goblin spelled backwards!
Josh skates off and stumbles upon the town having a service where they basically just say how disgusting meat is. Josh makes his presence known though, and the town try to feed him ice cream, but his dad appears, and they leave. After some awful Holly and Elliot acting, her dad appears and takes Holly, Josh and Elliot back to their house, leaving Brent on his own in the caravan. Drew makes it to the big house and finds Arnold, who is mostly tree. He tries to drag him outside, but Credence appears and punches Drew. She then kills Arnold with a chainsaw, which apparently tickles him. A party has been held at the Waits' house, and all the townspeople have brought food. Credence in goblin form attacks Josh, but Grandpa appears and cuts off her hand. She flees. It's okay though, Grandpa brought a Molotov with him and he wants to blow up the house. They run outside, but the guy who was heading the sermon earlier is there and takes the Molotov, and then he starts doing some spell to send Grandpa back. So Grandpa uses lightning to explode the Molotov. What the fuck? The guy dies in goblin form, and the Waits family see it, so they slowly back away inside the house. Credence decides to turn into a young and less crazy woman, and the Waits family decide to hold a seance to bring Grandpa back again, while the townsfolk wait outside. Brent is watching TV in the caravan when Credence appears on it holding corn. She talks to him, and he meets her outside and invites her in. She gets all flirty with the corn, and then this happens.
No more. No more popcorn.
Anyway, let's try and finish this now. So Josh appears at Credence's place, and Grandpa tells him they need to touch a stone or some bullshit. The Waits family try and fight off the goblins, mainly by throwing them downstairs. The goblins talk, which is really weird.
Our queen is calling us.
And then vanish. Grandpa disappears, some shit about goodness, and the Waits family somehow know to come over to Credence's house. They all touch the stone and the goblins die, and then they all go home. Josh goes for a nap, and his mother takes a shower, but Josh hears a creepy sound. He goes downstairs to see his mum is vegetables, and the goblins are back. We get a terrible line.
Do you want some, Joshua?
Josh screams, and the film ends. Okay then, so what did I think? It's a difficult film to talk about really, because it's so bad. The acting's awful, and the story is ridiculous. Everything about it's off. But I love it, it really makes me laugh. It's very basic in the way it's presented, and most of the time it's like watching a bad college play. I really like the dad character, he's pathetically funny, and the goblins are just bad to the point of some of them looking downright creepy. This one in particular. The effects are decent, even though most of it is just green slime. I really don't like Credence though, she's painful to watch. And the film does get a little boring and old about halfway through. But, I mean, those are my main nitpicks with a film that's just outrageously stupid. Let's talk about the release. The aspect ratio, video quality and audio are all pretty good. Very easy to watch. The casing, though, is really bad. Let me read this bit out. Joshua's fears are well founded for the trolls, which are a particularly dangerous breed live in the woods around the village. Wow, what is all that about? And also, they aren't trolls. Apart from that though, there isn't much else to say. The runtime's okay, we don't get any special features this time around, and that's about it really. Overall then, I'd say this is definitely worth checking out with friends. It's stupid and it's bad, but it's hilarious as well, and it's sure to create a fun time. The DVD's not too bad, even if it is lacking in any special features, it's probably worth picking up for cheap. It gets my recommendation. On a quick side note, I just wanted to do a bit of an update. I am moving house. That might be why the video's a bit echoey. I will try and fix that, but if it does come across as a bit echoey, I do apologise. So next week I won't be putting a video out. It'll be the week after, where we'll be watching Offerings. So there you go.